Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors! On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we will be taking a look at a character from the second wave of Vintage Collection figures for 2024, the Imperial Stormtrooper from A New Hope. TK427, why aren't you at your post? Welcome back everyone. Today we'll be taking a look at the repack of the Imperial Stormtrooper on a new card back with the unobstructed Hildebrandt logo. This is pretty much the same figure that we saw about a year or so ago, and there's not much differences in terms of new. The only thing I will say is there's a little bit of difference in terms of the white plastic and the vibrancy used for this figure. That's something I really would like to see Hasbro make more standard and just consistent moving forward. We seem to have issues with Imperial officers and just getting that plastic to always be the same vibrant white color. But other than that, I'm very happy to see this figure again. This is one that we're going to constantly army build, and I just always want to add more Stormtroopers to my collection, and I feel like most of you probably feel the same. But with that being said, don't forget to smash a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, or become a channel member, and let's take a closer look at the Imperial Stormtrooper. Taking a look at our vintage style packaging, we have a classic Kenner card back with the Star Wars Racetrack logo prominently displayed with a red name pill color for the Stormtrooper. And we have that nice unobstructed Hildebrandt logo in the top right corner, which looks absolutely fantastic. We have a nice image of the Stormtroopers here from the Death Star looking pretty good, except for that terrible ghosting that we've been seeing on our Vintage Collection card backs. When, another card is put on top of this one and then packed into that solid case, it just seems to rub on this and just cause all sorts of trouble for carded collectors. Hopefully Hasbro can really address this situation finally, because it's been something we've been complaining about. I got this one from Amazon, so I wasn't expecting much for it. Hopefully I'm going to have a nice carded sample from my wave case, but yeah, unfortunate stuff. And then we have a nice 375 figure looking pretty good against that red name pill color. On the back, he is VC 231 in the line, Stormtrooper, and we have a small description of the character followed by the Vintage Collection logo and additional images of the card and figure. So, as I mentioned before, this is a character that constantly needs to be in rotation. Stormtroopers are a must for any collection, and I'm definitely very happy to see this one re-released with the unobstructed Hildebrandt logo, and it will make for a fine addition to my carded collection. Lastly, taking a look at the previous release, you can see that the Hildebrandt logo is no longer obstructed, and the back of the card has a different layout and design. Taking a look at the Stormtrooper compared to the previous release, you can definitely see how different they are in terms of the brightness of the white used for the plastic on their armor. Definitely much more vibrant here, and that's a bit of a shame because I personally like consistency with my figures, especially something like the Stormtrooper that are supposed to all look the same. And I feel like most collectors are a bit, particular when it comes to these kind of inconsistencies as well. The other thing I will always point out is that the one here on the left has the E11 blaster without the flashlight, which is actually one that I borrowed from Stormtrooper Luke Disguise, and that is the rifle that this figure should be coming with. I cannot urge Hasbro more to stop including this one from Rogue One with the flashlight, especially when it comes to these A New Hope figures. I also like the silver paint applications that have been applied there, so that's something that I wish Hasbro would be more consistent about as well. But other than that, these figures are pretty much exactly the same. It's just the brightness on the white of their armor. So by now, many of you are probably very familiar with the articulation on the Vintage Collection Stormtroopers. We have the old style hips, which are pretty good and will have a lot of range of motion. You got a swivel at the thigh, a ball jointed knee, and rocker ankles, which was the biggest and best upgrade to this figure that we saw up until now. You also have some great articulation at the upper body. We got a crunch here. The head is on a barbell, so you can kind of move it around, get some decent expressions. You got ball jointed shoulders, and then ball jointed elbows and hinges at the wrists, which are all great for doing all sorts of, battle poses and stuff like that. But the main thing that I would like to see Hasbro maybe one day do in the future is update the hips to the new style barbell system, because they would definitely be easier to engage with, and I think a lot of us would kind of appreciate that. You also have a working holster here, which allows you to take the blaster and put it in there like so for safekeeping. So that is always great to see, and yeah, definitely a must-have for anybody who's a fan of Star Wars or 375 collecting. The definitive Episode 4 Stormtrooper was a long-awaited and welcome addition to the Vintage Collection. This character is the essence of troop building and should always be made available for new and seasoned collectors. The working holster is made of a soft plastic and allows the weapon to be easily stored by the trooper's side. This is an excellent feature that enables your Stormtrooper to carry a variety of different blasters in battle, such as the DLT-19 rifles that are seen in A New Hope. Additionally, the figure is fully loaded for the most part with modern articulation, leaving no limitations as to what this trooper can do in battle. Ball-jointed everything, hinges at the wrist, and rocker ankles will have the heroes from A New Hope sprinting towards the Falcon. While the figure is deemed definitive, Hasbro could add the new style barbell hips to this Imperial trooper and include the proper rifle without the Rogue One flashlight, thus making this masterpiece truly complete and definitive. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at this latest addition to the Vintage Collection, the repack of the Stormtrooper from A New Hope. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.